Right, this could be the world's shortest ever moto vlog, as I'm heading down to get the bike's paint hopefully finished off. It's just a tiny little yes, you go straight over in front. Please tell me you can do it. Right, part of the world's shortest moto vlog. Just back from Coastal Motors, and disappointing news, when he flatted everything down, I was about to polish it all up, it was considerably darker than the surrounding paint. In other words, worse than it was. So it's going to have to go back in again on Saturday. I get really very disappointed, upset, frustrated. This whole procedure, I feel as though I'm fated and cursed. I'm not allowed to have a decent looking bike. It's just very despondency making. Also, I had to wait until it started drizzling, so that bike's getting mucky on the way back. Yeah, not a happy bunny at all. Just could do with some good luck on this bike. There seems to be an endless catalogue of bad luck. I just want to get out and ride it and go to places, enjoy myself, and not be constantly worrying about this repair or that repair. did at least get the new grommets installed in the side panels, so they shouldn't come loose or rattle or rub on the frame. But yeah, funny, just coming up a few feet and it's already started to drizzle, whereas down there it was quite dry. Hello again, and welcome to a rather chilly Cornwall at 6 degrees, but it's dry and there wasn't a frost last night. The bike is due to go finally back to have its paint sorted. Is a bit worrying because we are on Last Chance Saloon. However, I won't try and talk too much about that. Pick the bike up later. I'm going to drop it off now. But before I do, I'm just going to have a quick run up and down the local roads just to get it properly warmed up, rather than, you know, the mile or so to the paint chappie. The roads are quiet this morning, which is good. Still lots of salt on the roads. Let's get opened up a bit. So we're going to take the first exit here and just wend our way down through the suburban streets of Cornwall. Nice Defender there, and Pan-European. So very quick roll call to those people I feel have been supportive of this channel. There may be others to add, but just for now, the all-year motorcyclist, excellent at replying to comments, supportive generally, gives me a shout out. Sometimes he gets it hilariously wrong and he knows that, but that doesn't matter. It's all part of the grist, and I'm amazed by the fact he can remember things on that moto-vlogging. I certainly wouldn't, so I'll probably make even more errors. Saddlebag 73, he's a proper Cornishman, unlike myself, who's only a pretend Cornishman. And Uncle Longbeard, he's been doing excellent motor vlogs for a long time, doesn't get the views he deserves. Why is that? Well, I think I know, but yeah, head on over to his channel because he has a wry, laconic wit that's really quite amusing. Yes, Schrodinger's cat, who shares my interest in large format photography. He's probably even more advanced photographer than myself, but yeah. Who else? Let's take the visor up. Let's get the warm in here. Yeah. Who else? Because all the other guys, economical wrong-aids, we sort of joined up together to help this American guy who'd been knocked off his bike in the most unfortunate manner. Well, I'd love to get over to Spain. Looks like the riding there is amazing. Channels that I've been following, well, Freddie Dobbs fairly obviously. He's in some ways hilariously incompetent, but he does seem to end up smelling of roses every single time. But then he has Monica to support him, so I think she's the brains behind that operation. Sorry, Freddie. Yeah, I do watch some American channels as well, actually. Shade Tree Surgeon, he's quite amusing. If you just allow for the cultural difference, you might say, and his sidekick Shaylisi, who's in some ways the more sensible of those two. And other channels, been watching quite a few Japanese channels recently, and I highly recommend the one called Gaso, or short for gasoline. He rides a Kawasaki. No, you don't. Kawasaki W800 street around Japan, and he does some beautiful moto vlogs, very well constructed, very simple. Yeah, so check him out. There's also, now I'll never get the name right, it's something like U.SR500. She rides an SR500 that's been cafe'd in a very good manner around, and yes, she is a pretty girl on a motorcycle. There is that element to it for men of a certain age like myself. But she does kickstart her own SR500. Props to her for that. And you know, she does lots of lifestyle type videos as well. But yes, that's well worth watching. So, and of course, Japan is a beautiful country, and the food there is not burgers. It's much more entertaining. the beautiful fish dishes, rice dishes, sushi, all kinds of things when they stop for a break. Not like the burgers you have here, which as a vegetarian and now celiac is basically forbidden for me. What's going on here? So I shouldn't have. Oh, there's tree surgery. Might be better to go down Lostwood Road, actually. Yeah, otherwise it could be there a long time. There's a little ex-council estate. Oh, there's more roofing over there. Never entirely sure which is the best way around here. Well, my eyes are streaming now because it's so cold. Mere 6 degrees. Yeah, you get to see the back streets of Snozzle, as it's called, or alternatively St Awful. Now, where's this person going at 10 miles an hour? This is a typical Cornish driver. They may not realise what they're doing. Hey! Hurrah! You've got indicators. Bless you. So we've come out. That was a crap gear change, wasn't it? Rubbish! Now, which way am I going? Should I go right or left? Oh, let's go left. However, you do get to see interesting vehicles sometimes. Look at that beautiful camper. Very valuable things now, that. Yes. Still very slow and prone to breakdown, though. Yeah. Taking it steady at the moment. When you're feeling a bit cold, your reactions just aren't that swift. Right, so back to another of the lovely Cornish traffic lights. And this time I am going to do the cheat. So you go to the car park of Aldi's, you can get some interesting motorcycle accessories on occasions there. Oh, you get yourself T-boned if you do that. Though he had the right of way, but he had no idea which way he was going. Yeah, so fingers beginning to feel a bit cold. I've not been riding fast. But it is 6 degrees, and that's just below my threshold of comfort, which is normally about 10 degrees, even wearing fairly thick gloves like these. Merlin gloves, by the way. If you're interested in sponsoring this channel, Merlin, get in touch. As Gavin Hardcastle of Photo Tripper fame says. I suspect they're not likely to be watching. However, I do use their gear. I have a Merlin jacket as well, which is an excellent all-rounder, waxed cotton style. Yeah, so doing a bit of a loop. Very couture, sounds like chicka-gun. I'm babbling now, aren't I? As the goal's got to be hypothermia. Yeah, the other reasons why you don't ride really much in winter is that your visor mists up, your glasses mist up, you get cold. Of course, when I get the heated grips fitted, that probably gives a much greater margin for comfort. Yeah, I've sort of given up on the idea of putting this bike away for the winter because there isn't much winter left. I've decided to officially declare the 1st of February as the start of spring, which sounds a bit bonkers, but in Cornwall spring can start in February if we have the right sort of weather. yeah, not much point in trying to get it mothballed and then bring it out and mothballing again. Now, what's this guy doing? He has seen me. Excellent, well done. This is a sort of industrial area. Not that there's a huge amount of industry in St Austell, but it does have the usual services. What we do have in St Austell, there is a lithium mine, of all things. Well, on the outskirts of St Austell. And we've got a geothermal mine as well. That's the Eden project, Tim Smith. He's a bit of a genius. If it worked for Tim Smith, this place would be completely dead. So he now owns the port of Charlestown, and he's busy trying to G that up a bit. So that is really the centre of the cultural and social heart of St Austell. Right, here we go. So we're getting close now to the end of this short run just to warm the bike up. 10:37, so I'm a bit late, but he does tend to be a bit late as well. Supposed to be there by 10:30. Now, can I do a Jedi mind trick and make these lights change? Change. No. I can't. We're going to wait for the red Mini. Oh, it's sniffling like anything. Cold air. Don't want to go into naughty boys territory, as all your motorcyclists says. Yeah, at least it's dry and you can ride your bike. And I have got plenty of protectant on the undersides, particularly. Waiting to fit a fender extender, which is dependent on getting the paint fitted, so I could do that, do the heated grips, and do some of the other little jobs that need doing. Hey ho. It's just a mere 5 miles. What's that guy doing? Car in front, and oh, no, you didn't watch me, did you? No. That thing where they come across roundabouts happens so much around here, particularly the mini roundabouts. It's very dangerous for bikers since they do not see you. Which way is he going? Left, right, left. Yes, definitely. Oh, there's the other second of the unholy trio. The Nissan Micra of nearly 20 years vintage, driven by a very elderly lady. So the Nissan Micra, the Honda Jazz, and the Toyota Yaris are what I call the unholy trilogy of small, slow cars driven very slowly usually by elderly people, or perhaps very young drivers who only just passed their test and inherit it from their grandmother. Yeah. Unfortunately, Nissan Micras last forever. Damn them. Yeah, then. Where am I going to get in here? Right, we're here, so I'm going to start talking to the chap now. Right, so heading off from Coastal Motors. Temperature is still a measly 7 degrees, and the paint is sort of partially completed, but we agree that it's literally too cold for paint to go on. 7 degrees. Oh, look at that Rover V8. Oh, a cool car. Means that it's just causing it not to properly cure and therefore not adhere. So, but I'm free now to get on with all the other things. So next is heated grips. There's the fender extender and some more little bits of corrosion to deal with, but I'm happy to feel that I'm gonna get out on the bike now, do some vlogging. So visor down. I'm going to take her up the bypass again just to get her a bit warmer. I did do a few miles earlier. Now done the grand total of 124 miles. Woohoo! In October, November, December, January, 4 months. Well, nearly 4 months. How pathetic is that? But then there's been problems of health, problems of this thing having to be go and have it paint done and so forth. However, I think we can now get on with things. We would be able to if the lights hadn't changed randomly. So I hope that's most of the video problems now sorted. I'm in the process of putting a video together in a bit more detail than the short I put up the other day. We went to Truro earlier, which is a county town, and saw a group of bikers out again. I think it was the same ones we'd seen in the pub the other week. One of them mounted on a Enfield Bullet, not Bullet, the classic 350, and another one on the Z650 RSs, which is basically the same engine as the Kawasaki Vulcan S I had, but in a something hotter state of tune. Looks pretty nice actually, I have to say. This is a meaty Merc in front of me. I'm trying to overtake him. Was a cheap overtaking manoeuvre. Not how you're supposed to do it. I'll take some photos of the tank. It's now very shiny, which is good. Probably apply a layer of Carnauba wax as promoted heavily by Uncle Stu. Yeah, stick it in top. I'm just pottering now. Fingers are already starting to get cold, and perhaps only been on the bike 10 minutes, less than that. It's not a day for long rides unless you've got heated grips and or the best clothing. I'm moderately well clad here. This Oxford riding shirt is lined, so it's fairly windproof, but not 100%. And I have it in a layer of Salt Rock hoodie, but that's probably not windproof at all. The Merlin gloves are good. We have a visor wiper on the right hand side, on the left hand side, which beats the Kayist heated gloves that All Year Motorcyclist was testing the other day. I did have a look at some of the Paragon ones when I was looking for gloves, and I just felt they were too big and bulky for me to want to wear. So the risk is that I would tend to end up not wearing them, and or forgetting where I put the batteries or something like that. Yeah. Whoops. To be moderately careful on this road, although it's actually quite nice for riding, sinuous bends, it does tend to have quite a lot of debris and loose gravel on it in places, because there is some works nearby, so I'm tending to keep it at a moderate speed Lite winery on the right. We're supposed to be going for a meal there on the 3rd of March. Nice. Yeah, keep speeds down on this corner. It's tempting to go hell for leather around here, but not entirely confident. Right, this is actually the entrance to the Eden project. It's also where they've been drilling for geothermal power, which they're planning to offer to local residents, i.e. including us. As you can see, plenty of gravel and loose stuff around here, so you've got to be a little bit careful. You know, hell for leather, knee down crap. It's a great bike for pottering at moderate speeds, and now we've got the suspension changed. It's actually fairly compliant at the rear end. Trethurgy, some of my friends live here. There's a nice lady and her vicar husband and her daughters. Now, I'm going to catch this turning on the right point. This is where the roads become very Cornish. Oh, we have the fuel light on. Yeah, not surprised. I put some fuel in a little while back, quite a long while back actually, so it's due for a fresh load. To reset the odometer. Gone off again. It's one of those ones that measures either the front or the back of the tank. So the level changes when you're going up and down hills. Probably not quite on reserve yet, but not far off it. You really can't go fast down this road. As you can see, it's spattered with mud and other debris. There's the roof truss company very shortly down here, and also where they keep their Arctics, would you believe. You get huge lorries coming down this road, which is a sight to behold, but not when you're actually on the road. Yeah, that's when they keep their lorries. Sometimes get free firewood off the roof truss company if they've got any offcuts spare. Firewood is one thing we don't need. There's trees falling on our land. There they are. It's the roof truss company. Got other friends live over there. Right, so as you can see, very potholed, lots of loose gravel. So you'll keep a very close eye on things, not hammer down this road. Right, well, I think I'm going to end this now. I'll show you photos as necessary of the various bits and pieces. So we're now at the stage where we're clear of paintwork for a while. We're planning to reconvene in April when the temperatures are warmer. So yes, next step, get on with those heated grips and the other little jobs that need doing, and get out and do some vlogging. Hurrah! Hey, I've been Captain Clumsy. You've been my audience. Thanks for watching.